Blasted bowmen! Who'd have thought these roadside thugs would have had the sense to add some bows in the shrubbery?
Bandits who've some experience, or at least less drunk than the usual rabble.
The two dwarves were ducked behind their upturned wagon, staying out of the reach of their enemies' bows. They had been tasked with clearing out a small group of bandits who had been attacking merchant wagons on the road to Feldenhurst. The two dwarves had disguised themselves as merchants and taken a wagon full of empty ale barrels from the Golden Leaf Merchants Guild. Kildrach had tried to convince the guild that barrels of ale would make for better bait. However, the guildmaster refused to do so. For some reason, he didn't seem to think that the ale would make it as far as the city gate, let alone Feldenhurst. This was rather unfair judgment to the two dwarves, Orik felt. After all, they would need some ale for the road. Another arrow striking the side of the wagon snapped Orik's mind back to their present predicament. Kildrach chanced to look around the side of the wagon.
Alright, so here's an idea. Charge forwards with our shields raised and smash them to pieces. Nice and simple.
Oh aye, a nice and simple way to become walking pincushions. What's the second idea?
What do you mean, second idea? I put a first idea forward, it's your turn to come up with something stoned.
Could always wait for them to run out of arrows. The buggers are cheering away not realising they're wasting shots.
Ah! Tempest does not smile on those who carry and wait. We need to take the battle to them.
Oh great, you can smile down on our arrow-filled corpses.
Kildrach turned and gave his friend a cold glare.
Be careful what you say about the Lord of Battle's friend, or it won't be the brigands' arrows you'll need to fear.
Orik shrugged, though in the back of his mind he did realise that maybe mocking the Lord of Battles in the middle of a skirmish may not be his brightest idea. Best wait till we're home with a couple of tankards, he thought.
Alright. Let's see what other options we've...
Orik's sentence was cut short as an arrow ricocheted off Kildrach's helm. The dwarf had stood to peer over the wagon just as a fresh arrow was let loose. Kildrach dropped back down with a curse, taking off his helm to inspect it.
It's a good job you have a hard head, my friend. Bet a silver coin that'd leave a mark.
Orik laughed, only to stop when his companion did not return it. Looking down at Kildrach's hands, he could see the arrow that had struck his helm had hit the flaming sword emblem on the front of it. The emblem of Tempest had been damaged.
Barzul, here we go.
You shite shoveling bastards! How dare you defile the symbol of Tempest?
Kildrach dropped his helm and charged forward with his shield and warhammer, unleashing a mighty battle cry. His hammer began to glow with radiant light as he prepared to smite his foes. Orik grabbed his own shield and axe and followed the enraged dwarf into the open.
Charging it is as usual. Was that last smite really necessary?
The two dwarves stood in the road with several corpses around them. Kildrach's charge had caught the bandits by surprise. Their bowman had only time to fire 2 shots that bounced harmlessly off his shield before the dwarf paladin crashed into their group. Kildrach had already killed 3 of the 7 before Orik had even reached them. The final bandit had tried to run, only to trip and fall. Kildrach didn't hesitate to call upon the power of smite to end the poor man's life.
Tempest looks down upon those who do not give their all in battle, for it is the place for folk to truly show their worth, their strength and their courage, to triumph over others or fall with honour as a warrior in battle. I offered these men an honourable death by giving it my all. They are the ones who bring shame on themselves by running. On top of it all, this piece of oak dung was the one who dented the holy emblem on my helmet.
Kildrach pointed to the crushed, burnt remains of the man who had tried to run. His chest caved in and burnt where Kildrach's warhammer, filled with the paladin's holy smite, had struck him. Orik looked over and frowned.
Are you sure he's the one that shot you?
Ah, of course I am. What kind of fool do you take me for?
Then where's his bow?
Kildrack's face dropped from the frustrated glare to one of confusion as he looked down at the corpse's remains and realized that the man had only been armed with a short sword and an axe.
Well, it's, fine. You weren't the bastard who shot me. You happy?
I will be, when we get home and paid. There's a tankard back at the Guild Hall with my name on it. Let's get those bodies buried away from the road, and then we'll go home.
Kildrack continued to grumble, but followed Orik to get the shovels from the wagon. The two of them spent the next few hours digging holes for the corpses and stripping them of anything of value. There was little they could do for the upturned wagon, damaged as it was. The horses had fled the moment the fight had started, leaving the two dwarves to walk home as the sun was setting for the day. Another day, another job complete.